Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to Answers Life. I hope everyone's doing great today. I'm back with another video. For those of you that are thinking about moving down south, this video is definitely going to be for you. Now, I've made videos about moving down south before on this channel, but this video is going to be a little different. On this video, I'm going to play two other video clips off of two other channels that offer two very different opinions about moving down south. The first one I'm going to play is going to be off of the African Diaspora channel, and the host of that video, her name is Demetria K. So I'm going to play that video first. That video is basically going to, well, I'm going to play that video first, and then I'm going to play another video right after that video. And the next video I'm going to play is off of a YouTuber whose channel name is Book Arthurist Realty Show. And I might put the name of that second video in the description just so you guys can look that channel up if you desire. Or two, I might take a little picture of that woman's channel. So if you guys want to go and give her some love, give her some support, you can do so. But those are going to be the two videos I'm going to be playing. And then I'm going to be back and we're going to have a discussion and I'm going to tell you what I think about those two videos.
About relocating to and start another migration because the reason why a lot of us are in the Midwest is because our grandparents migrated up here for jobs, opportunity, whatever. I'm from Cleveland, majority Black, and I'm honestly sick of living in cities that's not majority Black. I'm tired of being the minority. I did what I had to do to get the money that I wanted to get. I'm thinking Charlotte, North Carolina.
So as you saw there, she basically said as far as Black people, you know, we should basically migrate somewhere where we are the majority. And we know that the majority of Black people are in the South. Now, she said her people migrated, you know, to the Midwest, as a lot of people did from the South, right? Because they were trying to escape racial terror. And then they found out that racial terror was in the North and everywhere else too, right? And so, yes, right now, there are more Black people in the South than anywhere in the United States because it seems like we're just kind of going back there. But not only with her migration idea, she's also talking about, yeah, let's have our own little town, right? Because she said, I'm tired of living where, you know, it's not a lot of Black people. I want to live where we are the majority like we used to, right? She also said in a longer version of the video, there's obviously back in the day, a lot of towns and cities where it was all Black. And of course, we know what happened with that. She cited that of Rosewood and Tulsa. But yeah, there's a lot of people who have been talking about segregation as of late, especially when Trump started the whole segregation conversation on the federal level. A lot of us was like, yeah, I'm with the segregation, right? But she's right. We should be where we are the most because unfortunately, when we're not, a lot of things happen to us. And I'm not saying it won't happen to us when we're the majority, but I think it would happen less. And we have some commonality, right? We should want to be around each other. So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more...
Out in the country, chilling, taking care of business.
Turn left onto Confederate Boulevard, then turn right onto Stonewall Drive.
And, so please like and subscribe to my channel. It is so
Turn right onto Stonewall Drive.
here. It's so fucking bummy where I'm at right now. That's why I do not like it down south. Black people, it is slavery down here down south. Don't move to Alabama, Carolina, North or South, Georgia, Mississippi,
In 1,000
Tennessee.
feet, turn left onto Wilderness Lane.
Black people, this is not for you. You think that you're gonna come have a cheaper, nicer life down south? You are very wrong. Up north have better benefits. Can't hardly get no disability and they want to pay you cheap. They don't got no jobs down here. They are liars. These white folks are liars to get Black people down here to take up some of this land that they're building to try to feed off us. They live in a new land, and they putting us in these old pieces of fucked up shit neighborhoods that's only making it affordable for black folks to live. And it's still segregating us, even though they talk about non-segregation and equal right opportunities. These white folks down here ain't trying to give up none of their benefits. You'll see Confederate flags. That's a regular flag. I done seen Confederate flags. They don't give a fuck down here. They so racist. I hate South. I hate it, South. And I want some money to get the fuck out of the South. And if every black person was smart like me, you would get the fuck out of the South. Okay. North Carolina don't even have metal detectors in their schools. They never have. It is 2025 when I was in elementary school. No, let me see here. When I was in middle school, that's when middle school or high school, I started seeing the metal detectors come up. And I am almost 50. Why is this state 40? Down south is like 40 years behind north. 40 years. Okay? All this greenery, it look all nice. Look, these little cheap houses right here with all this greenery cost like $200,000. Yeah, or more. This little bitty piece of bullshit for 2 bedroom. Okay? I work in the real estate.
All right, folks, let's have a discussion. And I guess we'll start with what the first video was talking about. Now, with the first video, I mean, I guess the lady grew up in Cleveland. I grew up in the greater Cleveland area myself. I grew up in Elyria, Ohio. For those of you that have been watching me, you know that. I even have videos of Elyria and Cleveland on this channel. And, you know, Cleveland, you know, as he says, Cleveland is a predominantly black city. Now, I think in time that might change due to the gentrification of Cleveland. But, and I guess that woman's thoughts are she prefers to live in a community that's predominantly black. So I guess Cleveland for her is not black enough. I guess she wants a city that's even blacker than Cleveland, which they're out there, but good luck. Now, as far as the host of that video, Demetria K, I mean, she was talking a lot about how many people in the black community are talking about segregating. And this is my take about black people segregating. Well, to be specific, this is my take about black Americans segregating. Now, if you've been watching me, you already know how I was raised. I was adopted at age 5 into a family. And my parents, not my biological parents, but the ones who raised me were white. I say were because both of them have now passed on. So as far as black people segregating, for starters, I'm going to just tell you guys flat out, I don't believe in segregation. I just don't. I never had, I never will. Because honestly, if black people were to segregate from every other ethnicity of people or race of people tomorrow, many of the issues that we're still facing in the black community, we will still be facing. Some of the issues that we may no longer be facing will most likely be replaced with other issues. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, the reason why so many things were accomplished in the black community back in the 60s was because we had no choice but to work with each other due to segregation. And, you know, for those of you that want to argue that, I get it. I understand. However, the mentality of the black community back then is a lot different than the mentality of the black community today. And I'm not saying that in a good way. But yes, I do not believe in segregation. I do not believe that if we segregated tomorrow as Black American people, that anything would be any better than what it is currently. And that's my take. Now, for those of you that have a different opinion, that's cool. That's fine. Drop into the comments. I'll be happy to read it. And that woman was talking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina. But she's right. It does have a high black population. But there's a lot of other cities in the South that also have a high black population. I mean, if you come here to Alabama, you know, you got Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile. All those cities have a high black population. And you got Tuscaloosa, which is a mid-sized city in Alabama, which is it's a college community. It's about an hour or so west of Birmingham. It also has a high black population. Like all the major cities in Alabama, and even to include Tuscaloosa, all have over 50% of black population. And Huntsville has got a sizable black population. Not as big, but sizable. They got like 30%. And you also have a lot of smaller cities here in Alabama that are within an hour of the metro, just in case you work a 9 to 5 and you got to be in close proximity to employment. There's plenty of smaller communities in Alabama, especially from the greater Birmingham metro area down. There's a lot of small towns in Alabama that are either predominantly black or the black population is significant. Like when I say significant, I'm talking over 30%. And FYI, if you're looking at moving to the South, like if you're looking at moving to the deep South, the state that has the highest black population is going to be Mississippi. And next to Mississippi, I believe, will be Louisiana. And next to Louisiana will be Georgia. And then you have Alabama. But the deep South but the deep southern states are going to have the highest black population. Now, let me break it down for y'all real quick. Like when it comes to Alabama, once you approach the Birmingham metro area on down south, all the way until you get to Florida, those regions of Alabama are going to have a significantly higher black population compared to northern Alabama. Now, in northern Alabama, all the way from the greater Huntsville area, all the way to northeast Alabama, all the way even to northwest Alabama, like the Muscle Shoals area. I mean, those areas have black people, but not as many but the population of blacks in those parts of Alabama are significantly lower than the rest of Alabama. Now, when it comes to Mississippi, I don't know Mississippi super well, but I'm going to assume that the blackest part of Mississippi is, like I would say Mississippi, if you go to, and I would say the part of Mississippi that's closer into Memphis is going to have a sizable black population because of Memphis. And I would say Mississippi, anywhere from central Mississippi on down, there's going to be a sizable black population. When it comes to Georgia, now obviously the greater Atlanta area, which it's not considered Northwest Georgia, but it's going towards that direction. Obviously, that metro is going to have a sizable black population. And you have a lot of smaller communities that are located within an hour of Atlanta going south, to where you have sizable black populations in those communities. And I got a bunch of those communities on my channel because I want to say a couple of years ago, I took trips all over, uh, all over western to central Georgia. And also, if you were to go to central Georgia, from all the way down until you get to Florida, much like Alabama, again, there's a lot of smaller communities that do have a sizable black population. And a lot of people, when a lot of people talk about Georgia, a lot of people automatically be thinking about Atlanta. But when it comes to Georgia, there's a lot of other cities in Georgia, a lot of major cities in Georgia that have a sizable black population. You got Columbus on the northeast region of Georgia. You got Augusta in the central part of Georgia. You got Macon in the southern central part of Georgia, right off of Interstate 75. I can't think of the name of the city. You got Valdosta. I mean, it's not a major city, but I think it's got about 60,000 people, if I can remember clearly. That video's on this channel as well. So the majority of your major cities in Georgia all have a sizable black population, FYI. So if you're looking at moving to Georgia, there are way more cities to look at than Atlanta. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, just to break down the South a little bit. Now, when it comes to Tennessee, there's not as many blacks in Tennessee as there are in the Deep South. In fact, there's the black population in the Carolinas are going to be higher compared to Tennessee. And of course, Kentucky, which is the tip of the South. Kentucky has got the lowest black population. Same thing with West Virginia, if you consider that the South. I mean, Virginia, they got a sizable black population. So that's just a quick breakdown of the South when it comes to black population. So that lady that was talking about Charlotte, North Carolina, there are way more cities than Charlotte that she can go check out. She can either check out other cities in North Carolina. She can go all over the South and check out the whole entire South. And if I were her, that's what I would do before I decide to move to Charlotte. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Charlotte. I'm just saying check all your options first. And now and another thing is, me personally, well, I've kind of already talked about this before, but me personally, I prefer to live in a community that's diverse, black, white, whatever. But that's me. I know some people out here prefer to live in communities that are either predominantly black or predominantly white or predominantly people of their own ethnicity. Now, I prefer some diversity in my community. That's just me. That's how I've always been. That's how I grew up. That's how I was raised. And that aspect of me is still going to remain the same for the rest of my days. Now, as far as it goes for the second video, that lady was talking trash about the South. Now, I don't know what part of the South she's currently residing in. I don't know what part of the North she's from. She didn't specify. But I'm going to assume she's probably living in one of the Carolinas. And I try to, and just based off her accent, I could be wrong, but I'm going to assume that she's probably from somewhere in the Midwest. And I'm going to assume she's probably from either the greater Chicago area or maybe she might be from Wisconsin. I don't know. I mean, because she was talking about how the white folks in the South are racist, which is why I went through. I gave you guys a brief rundown of the South, because really when she was talking about how the white folks in the South were racist, I mean, as I told you guys before, I'm gonna tell y'all again, racism is not only in the South, it's all over the country. I mean, if you're a minority at some point, I don't care where you go in this country, at some point you're gonna run into bigotry, and you're gonna most likely run into some level of racism. That's just how it goes. Welcome to the United States. Racism is all over the country, not just in the South. Now, in certain regions of the South, people that are like that are racist or bigots, they don't really care about political correctness. They don't really care so much about political correctness. They might be a little obvious. They might be a little bit more in your face about it. Which some people, they can't deal with that. Other people, like myself, we prefer that because we know immediately where we stand and we can stay away from those kind of people. So the way that she was talking about how white folks are racist there and how they're lying to black people, trying to get black people to move to the South, I mean, I don't know where she gets that from, because I have never heard of anybody of the white community in the South advertising for black people to move down here. So I'm not sure where she gets that from. I'm not sure. Now, when she mentioned how the wages down here were lower than the North and the benefits weren't as good, I mean, I do have to agree with her on that one. That part is true, unfortunately. The wages down here are lower compared to the North. But then again, so is the cost of living, depending on what part of the South you reside in. And I will say, when she pointed out that one house, which was nothing special, she said the price of that house was $200,000, which makes me think that she's probably living somewhere in the Carolinas, in one of the metros of the Carolinas. And again, I will say, when taking into consideration that the wages in many parts of the South are lower compared to other parts of the country, I will say $200,000 for that particular house is a little much. So I do agree with her on that one as well. Now, when she kept on carrying on about how the South is trash and they don't got no disability benefits for her. As far as it goes for her disability, I mean, for starters, I'm sorry that she's not healthier than she currently is. I mean, the woman she's almost 50. She's around, she says I'm assuming she's like 48, 49, which is only a couple of years older than me. So I'm sorry about her health. But that's something that she should have investigated before she came down here. And as far as the South being trash, as she puts it, with a lot of cuss words in the video as well, I would say that part depends on what it is you're looking for. Now, I would say if you're going to move down here to the South and you're looking for tons of entertainment, a large economy with high-paying jobs and good benefits, I would say she probably should have checked out Nashville, Tennessee. She should have went to Nashville, Tennessee. Now, she didn't specify what her skill set was, but I would say for what she was looking for, she should have checked out Nashville, Tennessee. Or she should have checked out maybe either Charlotte or the Triangle area of North Carolina. The Triangle area is basically Cary, Durham, and Raleigh. She should have checked out one of those areas. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, okay, well, why didn't she go to Atlanta? Now, me personally, if you're looking for jobs that pay decent wages, I would not suggest Atlanta at all because, for one, the job market in Atlanta is super competitive. And secondly, the wages in Atlanta are low as piss. And the cost of living is high. Now, back to what I was saying. She should have checked out somewhere either in Tennessee or in one of the major cities in North Carolina. That's what she should have been doing. And she should have done her due diligence about disability before coming down here. And secondly, I don't know if she's into entertainment or not, but if she is, well, when it comes to entertainment, obviously, if you move to the greater Atlanta area, they got you. And depending on what you consider entertainment, if you move somewhere, to greater Nashville, they got you. And there's plenty to do in the Triangle area of North Carolina. There's plenty to do in Charlotte as well. Plus, if you're in the Charlotte area, you're also right by the ocean. Now, and also, so I know that video was a short video, so she couldn't say everything, but I would say when it comes to living in the South, it depends on what you're looking for. Because I didn't like how she generalized the South. Because not all of the South is the same. Like, for an example, Alabama is not the same as Georgia. And Tennessee is not going to be the same as Kentucky. Tennessee is not going to be the same as the Carolinas. And even with the Carolinas, North Carolina is not going to be the same as South Carolina. Like, even when I look at the state of Alabama is not all the same. Georgia is not all the same. Like if I were to break down Georgia and Alabama, I would say the northern region of Georgia and Alabama have more of an Appalachian culture. And when you get to, like, for Alabama, when you get to the Birmingham area down south, now the Birmingham area of Alabama is more of an industrial type of culture. And plus, the black population is much higher there than it is in North Alabama. And I would say when you get south of Montgomery, Alabama, southern Alabama, it's more agriculture in South Alabama. And the population in South Alabama, the South Alabama has the highest black population. And with Georgia, the greater Atlanta area has a mixture of, I would say, entertainment, retail, corporate America type atmosphere. As where if you were to go to maybe Columbus, Georgia or Augusta, Georgia, they probably have more so of an industrial type of economy. Same thing goes for central Georgia. And then when you get to southern Georgia, much like southern Alabama, it's more agriculture. And also the black population in South Georgia is also higher than the rest of Georgia, like here in Alabama. And of course, if you were to go to Kentucky, again, Kentucky is, you got that Appalachian culture going on in Kentucky. Same thing with Tennessee. Not all of Tennessee, because you know you go to Southwest Tennessee. Southwest Tennessee has the highest black population instead of Tennessee. Southwest Tennessee does. As where you go to Northern Tennessee, I believe, has the lowest black population. Like you go to Kentucky, Western Kentucky has a higher black population compared to Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky is more of an Appalachian culture than Western Kentucky is. So I say all this, and then of course if you go to Texas, Texas is its own entity, for lack of better wording. So I say all this to say that if you're looking at moving to the South, first you have to know what it is you're looking for in your new home. You need to know what you're looking for. Like, what kind of work do you do? What kind of work do you want to do when you get to the South? What are you looking for in your new home in the South? What's your price range for a house? Do you want to own? Do you want to rent? Do you want to live nomadically? Do you want to live off grid? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live in your new home in the South? And then based off of those, and then based off of all that, when you come down here to the South, understand every state is different from each other. And within any southern state, every region of that particular state is different from the next region. So if you're going to move to the South, you can't generalize the entire southern region of the United States. It's not all the same. It is not all the same, and I can't emphasize that enough. It's like old girl says she is from the North. Well, North where? Is she from the North in the term? Is she from the North, like the Midwest North? Is she from the Northeast? Is she from the Atlantic, like Pennsylvania, Baltimore, the D.C. area? Is she from the Northwest? I mean, what part of the North is this woman from? And obviously, when it comes to the North is not all the same. Because, I mean, you go up north, you got parts of the North where if you're a minority, you're going to most likely experience more bigotry and racism than you will in other parts of the North. So, yeah, when it comes to the South, you can, for those of you that want to move to the South, know what you want, know what you're looking for, and understand that not all of the South is the same. The South, not all of the South is the same. And that's all I got for you guys. So hopefully you guys got something out of the video. I know it was a long one, but I just had to say what I had to say. I mean, from somebody who grew up in the Midwest myself, or what some people would call the North. And I lived all over the southern central region of this country. I lived in Kentucky, Tennessee, and now I'm here in Alabama. So hopefully this video helped out some of you. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you at least got entertained. And I will check you guys later. Stay blessed.